Chapter 42. Trails in the Mist. The fog in Shadowmere Wood hung like a shroud, thick and cloying, muffling the group's ragged breaths as they stood amid the carnage of the werewolf beasts. Their twisted corpses lay scattered, fur receding in wet, bloody clumps to reveal pale, human skin beneath, bones grinding back into fragile forms with faint, sickening cracks. Ver wiped ichor from his twin short swords, his scarred face twisted in a grimace, blood seeping from fresh gashes on his arm and thigh. The pain burned hot, but he shoved it down, his grey eyes flicking to Leoray Durrell with wary respect. Zariel knelt beside a fallen cultist, his moss-green cloak torn, luminous green eyes scanning the body for clues, his side wound bound but still oozing. The wood's curse whispered faintly through the mist, accusations of betrayal failure, but the immediate threat was gone, replaced by the urgent pull of Dylan's trail. "Enough gawking!" Ver growled, sheathing his blades with a rasp, his limp more pronounced as he tested his weight. "The kid's ahead! Sap burns on that vine there, fresh. He's bleeding too, sense faint, but iron sharp. We move." Leoray nodded, her violet eyes cool and assessing, raven black hair still bound tight, her silk robes barely marred by the fight. "Your instincts are keen, Night Vale. But the fog thickens. We'll need more than brute tracking." She crouched, her gloved fingers brushing a snapped fern, tracing the subtle press of a boot heel angled north. He veered here, desperate, but deliberate, toward ruins perhaps. Zariel rose, pocketing a bone talisman from the cultist, its Vorn rune dim but humming faintly. The wood speaks of a disturbance, echoes of undeath, a chase through stone. If Dylan's path led there, it's no haven. They pressed on, the fog swirling around their ankles, the blackened trees leaning in like silent judges. The ground softened, veined with red that pulsed weakly, leading them to a crumbling castle rising from the mist like a skeletal giant. Its towers were jagged, windows black voids, the rusted gate bearing cursed in streaked blood. The air grew colder, heavier, the jungle's hum shifting to a low, guttural throb that vibrated in their bones. Zariel halted at the threshold, his elf senses recoiling, luminous eyes widening. "Great evil dwells here," he murmured, voice edged with dread. "A demon's curse, ancient and ravenous, undead, stir within, bound to its will. The walls weep with malice, no living soul lingers. If Dylan entered and he's alive, he'd have fled by now. This place devours the weak." Ver grunted, his hand on a sword hilt, peering through the gate into the shadowed courtyard. "Kid's no weakling anymore, but you're right. He came out the other side." He limped forward, eyes tracing faint boot prints in the mud, smeared but angling east toward the riverbank. Leoray moved ahead, her grace silent, violet eyes picking out details in the gloom. A torn scrap of linen caught on a thorn, bloodied but familiar. "He fought here," she said, holding it up. "Recent. The curse didn't claim him." They circled the castle's perimeter, the fog parting reluctantly, revealing a muddy bank where the Bloodvale River's crimson flow glinted under the bruised sky. Zariel knelt, his fingers brushing the earth, elf senses delving deeper. He washed up here, plunge marks, waterlogged prints heading north. But wait. His eyes narrowed, tracing another set of impressions, lighter, more deliberate, spaced with predatory precision. Others passed here as well. Leathers, faint, rune etchings, shadow dragons. Yanz's pack, I'd wager, they're ahead, on his trail. Very grimaced, guilt flashing in his grey eyes before hardening to resolve. "Bastards move fast. If they're hunting the kid, we cut 'em off. North, flank the river. If Dylan's no fool, he'll skirt the open plains." Leoray's smile was faint, predatory, as she pocketed the linen scrap. "Yanz serves gold, not gods. If Erin's whispers hold, he's bound for the Stormspire too. We trail them both. Let the dragons lead us to Dylan, then strike. As they turned north, a chill wind stirred the fog, carrying a faint wail. Not wind, but something older, hungrier, like roots grinding stone. Zariel shivered, his wariness spiking. "The veil," he whispered, voice low. "It haunts these fringes, primordial chaos feeding on innocent souls. It doesn't pursue us, but its presence. It watches, waits." Vare grunted, pushing forward. "Let it watch. We've got blades for whatever hungers." But the wail lingered, a spectral echo, the jungle's malice a constant pressure at their backs. Further ahead, Yanz Rinso knelt in the crimson undergrowth, his piercing voids dissecting the trail like a surgeon's blade. The bloodwild's rot and metallic tang filled the air, vines coiling overhead. But to Yanz it was a canvas, broken twigs whispering of hurried passage, faint boot prints in the spongy soil, etched with desperation, a smear of blood on a leaf still tacky, tasting of human fear. His shadow dragons, 10 lean killers in dark leathers, fanned out behind him, poison daggers glinting, their steps silent as ghosts. "The boy's close," Yanz murmured, voice smooth as a drawn blade, brushing fingers over a faint glow, star-like residue on bark, ethereal and wrong, matching the scarred outsider's marks. "Sap burns here, recent from a fall. He's wounded, slowing. Head north, fan wide, the wood's curse will flush him out." One dragon nodded, vanishing into the fog, but Yanz's cynicism curled his lip. This hunt was no dwarf lord in a mine. The boy was a puzzle, his scars drawing beasts and gods alike. Persistence and patience, he tasted the air, catching the acrid bite of fear sweat, following the subtle bend of ferns, the scuff of a boot heel angled toward denser cover. The trail warmed, leading deeper into Shadowmere's heart, where whispers gnawed at even his iron will. Failure. Alone. But Yanz pressed on, the star shrine's distant thrum echoing his resolve, the boy a prize for kings and wizards alike. Deeper still, Dylan pushed through Shadowmere's fringes, the fog thick as soup, the blackened trees whispering doubts that clawed his mind. Kajal's voice slithered in his skull. "The wood tests you, star vessel. North lies the wastes, the Bonefield's shrine, but secrets demand sacrifice." Dylan gritted his teeth, grave marrow heavy at his belt, his path a thorned promise toward Zorath, unaware of the hunters closing from behind, and the alliances forging in his wake. The jungle's jaws tightened, Erindor's web drawing all toward the Stormspire's jagged peaks.